Edo State is found in the southern part of Nigeria. It rests within a region known for its lush greenery and tropical climate. This land has been a home to people for many, many centuries. Its geographical position made it a pathway for different cultures. People traveled and traded across these lands. The soil here is fertile, good for farming. This richness allowed early communities to grow and settle. The air in Edo State often feels heavy with history, a sense of things that happened long ago. Great rivers like the Ose and Orionmon flow through its territories, shaping the landscape and the lives of its inhabitants. The historical importance of Edo State is very deep. Long before modern records, people lived here. They formed societies with their own rules and customs. Over time, these smaller groups began to join. They formed larger communities and political units. Much of what we know about this early past comes from stories. These are oral traditions passed from parents to children. These stories tell of heroes, migrations, and the founding of communities. They are like a library without written books. This early period laid the foundation for the great kingdom that was to emerge, the famous Benin Kingdom. The Edo people are the main ethnic group in this state. Their language, also called Edo, is spoken widely. It carries their unique cultural identity within its words and sounds. In the early days, their social structures were well organized. They had distinct beliefs about the world and their place in it. Their connection to the land was profound. It sustained them, and was part of their spirituality. They developed unique customs for marriage, birth, and death. They organized themselves into villages and towns. Their spiritual world was filled with many gods and spirits. They showed great respect for their elders, who held wisdom. This strong foundation supported their society for a long time. Eventually, one power rose above others in this region. This was the Benin Kingdom. It became the most significant and influential entity. Many legends tell of its creation. Some stories speak of princes from other lands, others tell of local heroes who united the people. Early rulers worked hard to bring different groups together. They consolidated their power carefully. This marked the start of a truly remarkable period in West African history. A new chapter was beginning for the Edo people. This kingdom would shape the destiny of the region for hundreds of years. Its influence would spread far beyond its immediate borders, and many looked towards Benin with awe. At the very center of the Benin Kingdom was the Oba. The Oba was more than just a king. He was considered divine. He held immense spiritual and political authority over all his people. This concept of divine kingship meant he was a link between the earthly world and the spirit world. Succession to the throne was usually from father to son, though it was not always simple. The people held the Oba in the highest reverence. He was the guardian of traditions and the embodiment of the kingdom itself. His palace was not just a home but a sacred center of power and ritual. His decisions guided the destiny of the nation. The Benin Kingdom had a very advanced political structure for its time. It was not just the Oba ruling alone. He was supported by a council of high-ranking chiefs. These chiefs were known as the Uzama and Ahiran. They had important advisory roles. They also played a crucial part in choosing the next Oba. There were other orders of chiefs too, each with specific duties. Some were military leaders, others managed trade or public works. Decisions were often made after careful discussion and consultation. This system created a form of checks and balances on power. It helped to ensure stability and good governance in the kingdom for many centuries. Military strength was a key feature of the Benin Kingdom. It possessed a large and well-organized army. The soldiers were disciplined and skilled in warfare. They used various tactics and weapons effective for their environment. This strong military allowed the kingdom to expand its territory. It conquered neighboring peoples and brought them under Benin's rule. Control over important trade routes was also maintained by this military power. They defended their lands fiercely against any invaders. Neighboring states respected and often feared Benin's formidable warriors. Their reputation for bravery and success in battle was widespread throughout the region. The achievements of the Benin Kingdom went far beyond warfare. It was a sophisticated society with a high level of organization. Its contributions to models of governance were significant in the region. There was a strong sense of order and law within its borders. This allowed for a generally peaceful existence for its citizens. The kingdom enjoyed considerable prosperity for many hundreds of years. Justice was administered according to established customs and laws. People felt secure and could go about their daily lives. It was recognized by many, even early European visitors, as a place of high civilization. its legacy is one of impressive order and cultural richness. Benin City was the heart of the kingdom, its magnificent capital. Its historical importance cannot be overstated. The city was meticulously planned and laid out. It was famous for its massive walls and deep moats. These were not just for defense, they were a symbol of the kingdom's power and organization. Early European travelers who visited Benin City in the 15th and 16th centuries wrote about its grand scale. They described its wide streets and large, well-maintained houses. It was a bustling center of activity, full of people and commerce. The Oba's Palace, a vast complex of courtyards and galleries, stood at the very center of this impressive urban landscape. The craftsmanship of the Edo people was renowned far and wide. Special guilds of artisans worked for the Oba and the nobility. There were master woodcarvers who created intricate sculptures and ceremonial objects. Ivory workers carved delicate figures and ornaments from elephant tusks. Textile makers wove beautiful cloths with complex patterns. These skills were passed down carefully from one generation to the next. The artisans showed immense dedication and precision in their craft. Each piece they created often told a story or represented an important belief. These objects were highly valued both within the kingdom and by foreign traders who sought them. Among all their artistic achievements, the Benin bronzes are the most famous. These are not actually bronze but mostly brass and some bronze castings. Their creation was for the glory of the Oba and to record history. The artists used a sophisticated technique called the lost wax casting method. This allowed them to create highly detailed sculptures. The artworks depicted Obas in their ceremonial attire, powerful queen mothers, and important events from the kingdom's past. Their intricate detail and profound beauty are astonishing. These were more than just decorative art, they were vital historical records. They adorned the pillars and altars of the Oba's palace, showcasing the kingdom's wealth and spiritual depth. Benin City was also a major center for thriving trade networks. For centuries it traded with other African states across West Africa. Later, from the 15th century onwards, it engaged in trade with European nations. The Portuguese were the first to arrive, followed by the Dutch and the English. The kingdom exported valuable goods like ivory, palm oil, pepper, and finely woven textiles. Sadly, it also participated in the transatlantic slave trade for a period. In return, Benin received goods like coral beads, cloth, metal tools, and firearms. This international trade brought considerable economic power to the kingdom. It also introduced new influences, and eventually, new and significant challenges. The late 19th century saw the arrival of increasing British influence. Relations that had once been primarily about trade began to change. They became strained and then turned into conflict. The British Empire was expanding its control across Africa. It desired access to the resources within the Benin Kingdom. There was growing tension as British officials sought more power and influence. The old ways of the kingdom, its independence and sovereignty, were being directly challenged. The Oba and his chiefs could feel this immense pressure. A storm was gathering and it threatened to engulf the ancient kingdom. Change was inevitable, and it was coming with force. This period of tension culminated in the tragic Benin expedition of 1897. The British launched what they called a punitive expedition. The stated reason was to avenge the deaths of a British trade delegation. However, the underlying motives were complex, including the desire to depose the Oba and control trade. The British forces were overwhelmingly superior in weaponry. They conquered Benin City after fierce resistance. They then proceeded to burn much of the city to the ground. Thousands of priceless cultural artifacts, including the famous Benin bronzes, were systematically looted. Oba Ovonramwen, the reigning king, was captured and exiled. This was a deeply traumatic event for the Edo people. The impact of this colonization was devastating and far-reaching. It marked the end of the independent Benin Kingdom. British colonial rule was imposed, and the traditional political structures were dismantled or altered. The Edo people suffered the profound pain of losing their sovereignty. They also mourned the theft of their most sacred cultural treasures, which were taken to museums and private collections across Europe. Yet, despite this immense loss and subjugation, the spirit of the Edo people was not entirely broken. They held on to their heritage tightly. The memory of the kingdom's past glory lived on in their hearts and stories. They found ways to adapt to the new harsh realities. Today, the cultural heritage of Edo State continues to thrive with remarkable resilience. The lineage of the Obas continues, and the current Oba holds a significant traditional and spiritual role. Traditional festivals like the Igwe Festival are celebrated with great enthusiasm. These festivals are vibrant displays of ancient customs, music and dance. Traditional dances, intricate music, and age-old customs are still practiced in daily life and on special occasions. There are ongoing efforts to reclaim and preserve the cultural artifacts that were looted. The resilience of Edo culture is a testament to its depth and strength. New generations are taught the old ways, ensuring that the pride in their rich history remains strong and vibrant.